give me just a straight roll to see if no.
We are recording. A little late, but we are recording now.
You're good. What did everybody get? Starting with Brooke.
Wait, what do I add to it?
You just roll straight d20.
18.
18. Okay. Cameron.
Wait, what am
12.
I
A D20.
12.
I got a 12.
Okay, Emerald. Emerald.
13.
Meredith.
7.
7. Okay, so oh wait, I need to roll for Maven. Yeah. Okay.
Or something.
So Maven, Meredith, Cameron, and never mind. Maven, Ivy, Pocket, and Solace. You all have a little bit of trouble sleeping. But you still manage to find sleep in your foreign place that you are in. Ivy, I'm gonna need you to give me another d20 roll.
Oh.
You can add your wisdom modifier to it though.
Okay. 19 plus 3, so 22.
All right. You don't sleep well, but bad dreams avoid you. It just takes you a little bit longer to get to sleep.
You mean no worse than usual?
No, you don't actually manage to have a dream this night.
Oh.
But as soon as sleep finds you, it's a little bit harder for you. But once you do find sleep, it's a calming notion to you that you don't actually have a dream this night.
Okay.
So everyone awakens, and as you awaken, everyone notices that you are all within the same room. It is a very long room filled with bunk beds, and you see about 25 people or 25 bunk beds in this room. Throughout the entirety of the long room, each of you are strewn without the room on different bunk beds. One is on top, one is on bottom, strewn without. If you want, you guys can look around.
Yes.
All right.
I'd like to perceive.
Yeah, sure. If you want to perceive something, go ahead and give me a perception roll.
Can I do so as well?
Yeah, everyone who wants to can.
And I take it the inside of this is just kind of like if we've ever been inside of one of like a long camps, like an inside, like long dining hall.
Yeah.
It's just full of beds.
Meredith?
Yes.
Okay. Who else?
I got 24.
24. Okay.
17.
17. Anybody else doing a check or no? It's a perception if you want to.
I love this song. It's so good. This becomes like our theme song. I'm gonna be thrilled.
15. Okay, everyone passes anyway. Who gives a fuck? Okay, so you notice around you that this is where late in the night everyone had found yourself after you had been teleported to the city. This is where all of the participants are being housed for the Rite of the Suncrest. This is your current living quarters at the time. Different species and genders and everything all throughout this room right here. Their own bed and a little chest beside their bed. 2 in each of the little lanes. One for the one on the bottom, one for the one on top. Where you can keep your stuff. And as you wake up in the morning, it's very early in the morning. It's probably about 6 or 7 in the morning as you wake up because most of you have had a hard time sleeping. You're a little bit groggy, but you wake up to the new day. And yeah.
Can I do like a memory roll for Solace to realize where the fuck he is? Because I'm pretty sure that guy did not explain it to him. He just like pulled him through a hole.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can if you want to.
I 14.
So what you remember from last night, as Delric pulled you through the portal, as soon as you landed in the proving grounds, he calmed you down because you were a little bit freaked out by what happened, and
Dying.
he told you why he was there. He told you that he was there looking for recruits for the Suncrest, and noticed that a figure was following another fleeing figure. Came down to find you, saw that he was about to attack you, and intervened, blowing him asunder. And you left before he could make any kind of greeting towards you, and noticed that you were running away from a bunch of guards. So he tried to get you the hell out of there. In thanking him, he asked you if you were interested in gaining new resources, gaining access to places that you're not usually allowed to, and generally having a one-up on most of the scum you've had to deal with the rest of your life. Liking the sound of something like that, he tells you about the Rite of the Crest, and that you are in fact outside of one of the buildings where you will be training and studying to perform in the rite. And he also tells you that you will be studying under him, so he'll be able to keep an eye on you and make sure that no one tries anything to either attack you or report you to any kind of authorities that may ever find their way here from Caldera. So he gives you kind of your rucksack and leads you into the into the barracks where you stay. At this point, it's very late at night after he's spent the whole time explaining all of this to you, and you've kind of been a little bit resistant, but also thankful for what he did, and yeah. So.
That's good. I just last thing I heard was being pulled through a hole, and then I wake up in a bed.
Yeah, no, that's completely fine.
Perfectly normal to be kind of concerned.
If anyone else, I'll give you guys some kind of memory roll if you want to know any on how you got here.
I'm good.
Real quick, do I notice?
You don't have to.
Do I notice the 8-foot
Oh,
Goliath?
yeah, do
You
I
can
notice?
look around. There's
Do I
a lot of people
recognize
in
anyone?
here. There's 50 people in this room.
But do I notice? Was my perception check good enough to notice?
You notice that there are a fair amount of are shorter than a human stature. With
How
what
would
you
I
rolled.
not notice a giant blue lady?
There, in this particular barracks, 2 Goliaths. Yes. What? You're cutting out. Okay.
You're kind of popcorning.
There are 2 Goliaths in this particular barracks.
Wow.
You notice
Okay.
that. You notice that with your perception check.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
There are 2 gray-blue colored figures that have just woken up into this room.
Okay.
Anyway, you all wake up and you are free to move around the because this is the first day that everyone is actually finally meeting.
What time is it?
It's morning.
It's morning. It's about 6 or 7 in the morning. You kind of get this faint smells of breakfast coming from a foreign room.
Food! Smell of food.
Yes, I would also like to move towards food to prepare.
Okay.
Huh?
Well,
Also, I get the chance to eat a while I go that way.
all right. So we have Solace, Vorksan, and Pocket heading out towards Hall.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting some food as well.
Okay.
I take it
Now
that
do I see her?
in this
Ivy and
kind of
Maven decides to follow as well. Everyone is kind of starting to head that way. They're either kind of consoling themselves, getting ready for the day, towards food.
I'm too sleepy-eyed anyway.
Mm-hmm. Are you staying in?
What? You're lagging so
Are
much.
you-
I'm sorry. Maybe.
Are you going with them, Kiki, or are you staying
Oh,
in the?
no. I sort of lag behind and then just follow the group when more people start heading that way.
All right. So you all come out to a hallway. Since all of you have gotten here last night, pretty much, you're not really familiar with where you are. You just kind of start following the crowds, a hallway, and go left. A couple of them kind of come to a central area. You open the wooden doors, and you see this pretty grand scale mess hall. Long wooden tables. Really fireplace on one end, with a kind of with a podium of them, and to the left there is being served food, kind of like cafeteria style almost.
Josh, try turning off your webcam for a bit.
What's the last thing y'all heard?
You were coming into a
I
mess
mean,
hall.
It was.
You cut out in the middle.
Style.
You cut, yeah, it's cafeteria style, but you said there were two somethings, and then you cut out.
Long tables.
Ah,
Yeah, there's multiple long tables in the room with these really long bench seating where people can sit. There is a expensive looking fireplace on one end that is kind of warming up the room. A stage on one end that has a podium up at the top.
Oh.
And throughout the room on the walls you can see pictures of different members who have earned their crests. You also see a picture of some of the evaluators and pictures on there as well. Kind of getting the sense that they've created a group here at this over at the cafeteria. You see these two older heavyset ladies just cauldrons and behind them where they are serving different kinds of breakfasts for any which that is coming towards them. You get smells of meats and cheeses and even fresh breads and coffees and stuff like that. And it's very smell as you all walk into here.
I'd like to get me some of that food.
yes.
Alice gets a regular plate while also secreting food into his pockets.
Wait, what are you doing?
Putting food
She's
in my
getting food in her
pockets without
pockets.
anyone noticing.
As you're going through the cafeteria line, one of the cafeteria ladies just kind of looks at you and goes, "You know, you don't need to be here for a while, right?" Anyway,
I'm a really good
she gives you
It's like,
another.
there's no
she
way.
gives you another. She gives you another scoop of eggs on your plate.
Thanks, love. As I stuff
Oh, you're
another piece of bread in my pocket.
All right.
I'd just like to get lots of everything. Please.
Lots of
I
what?
might need 2 plates.
Sure. Accommodating. We get you another plate. And they also say they can get you a trough if you need to.
That's a little overboard.
They might need maybe a half trough. I'm
They're very happy to see you. From what you can, these ladies are very happy to be doing the job that they are doing. They're not like the typical lunch lady that doesn't give a shit. They people, so they're happy to give more. And you can kind of see them using a little bit of magic in what they're doing, so they're able to feed this massive amount of people.
They're the reason the kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, I like to take a seat
No,
somewhere
no.
then.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't get that much
So,
bread. I
whenever
I mostly just get some fresh vegetables and meats and not that much bread.
All right. Well, you can see 4 big tables in front of you. Any one of them, they're not. No, there you see a couple of groups of people sitting together, have known each other through training here. If you want, you can.
Do they look nice? Can I try to see?
Some,
I'd like
sure,
to sit
sure.
next to
You
the
want to try to
nicest
find a nice one?
Yes.
Give me a perception roll real quick. If it's nice and
13.
13? That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're walking towards one of the tables, and you you notice a girl who looks like she dresses very well for a kind of surprisingly well. She currently is sitting on the edge of one of the tables. She has her lute kind of leaning up against one of the tables. She is just kind of humming to herself as she is going about eating her food. She has blonde hair with black streaks in it, and she is for her stature, she is actually wait, never mind. No, she's 5'7". She looks in her mid-20s and enjoying her food and humming to herself.
I like to walk up and sit down. And go.
She kind of looks up at you and smile, and she's like, "Oh, hello. It's nice to meet you."
Hello, I'm Pocket. My name's Pocket.
She
my name
offers
isn't
a
actually
hand to you to
Pocket.
shake it.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You're quite big.
Yeah, you tell us to my tribe. Yep.
Did you not?
What?
Did you not?
Yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah, you're in our barrack. There's 2 of them here right now. We kind of get along. Well, it's nice to meet you. I have to continue my warm-ups, but I will rejoin you after I'm done.
Oh,
And she,
okay.
She kind of nods towards you and
Warm-ups.
Mhm.
Got it. I eat my food.
Solace is an attempt to
Everybody else is gonna
seek out anybody. He's just goes down and stuff his face.
Emerald, you roboted there.
He. Uh-oh.
I didn't hear it.
Can't hear you.
Gonna sit down
Okay.
and stuff his face.
All right. Solace sits down and he stuffs both helpings of the breakfast that he has just gotten, as well as some of the bread that he put in his pocket, into his face. A very fitting meal for someone who doesn't really get to eat all that often. It tastes amazing, and you don't think you've had this kind of home-cooked meal in a while. So. Definitely fills you with gusto.
good shit.
Do I notice anybody that reminds me of the three churches besides myself?
You look around and you see a couple of people with symbols or tattoos, symbols around their neck and tattoos on their face, but none resembling the church that you come from or the churches of Seldon. One from the Church of Arathis, and two from the Church of Bahamut.
Okay. I can sit down, Josh. I sit down with my food. Put me somewhere in this. Put me somewhere here, Josh. Put me somewhere in
Okay.
this cafeteria.
You just find a seat somewhere on the third bench.
Okay.
In here.
Yeah.
So is it like always immediately obvious to people what other people's classes are?
Not necessarily. Whenever it gets into the rogue ranger fighter area, you ask or look at them whenever they're in battle gear. No one here is in battle gear. The only people that you can kind of immediately tell are what they are usually the bigger, taller, fatter people are barbarians. People who still have symbols around their neck and or tattoos on their face are usually a monk or a cleric. Depending on what type
And
of
can
wizard you
tell
are.
Solace is a paladin.
What?
So no one can tell that Solace is a paladin.
No, because everyone right now is in their regular just regular clothes. No
Okay,
one is
dope.
in
That's
their,
good.
no one is in their armor or anything like that. This is the morning breakfast. So
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
yeah. Solace, you chose to sit on kind of towards the more middle where no one was sitting on the third of the tables.
Let's see.
Maven decides to get some food as well and takes a seat by themselves over on the fourth bench.
Cool. Do I notice any halflings
Being
or
the only
anything?
Aarakocra in this entire building, by the way, and there are 100 people in this building currently.
So people are occasionally staring.
People are staring.
Yes, bro.
Anyway, what were you gonna say? Kiki?
Sorry. Do I notice any halflings sitting anywhere or something like that?
You notice a couple of dwarves, one half dwarf, and you see you now see the Goliaths again. One with longer hair that comes into a braid, and you also see 5 halflings. Most of them are kind of sitting together, giggling and talking under their breaths about what they think of other people in this kind of cafeteria.
Okay. Then
making
I
jokes.
get my food and I want to sit with them.
All right. So you get your food, and as you walk over, they see you and they start giggling and pointing and going.
What?
And then you come over and you want to greet. Do you want to talk to them, greet them or anything like that, or do you just want to sit right next?
Yeah, I want to be like, hey guys, do you mind if I sit here?
Oi, sure, you can sit here. We're just making fun of everyone else. It's something we like
Hello?
to do. Did you know?
Sorry, I think I lost y'all for a second. What happened?
They said, sure, you can sit here. We're just making fun of everyone else right now.
Yes, great.
It's something we like to do to soak up for the competition ahead. You know, if you have a mental edge on a person, you can usually take them down, especially our size. You know, I don't think I've seen you around here before. Are you not from Vestia? Another one of them says.
Wait, what?
Halflings that is sitting there says they haven't seen you here before. If you're from outside of Vestia.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just got in here yesterday from a really small farming community. Yep.
Oh, I've lived here all my life, and well, I'd love to see the the Midwest out there, but maybe. And he motions for you to sit. Goes back talking to his other friends that are pointing at the third table at someone who is sitting by themselves. What they're about to just starts talking. Vorksan, you are still in line. Cafeteria, getting your food.
I've been trying to figure out what we're gonna do about the mic situation because I can't turn mine.
What? Why can't you turn yours on?
Because when I turn mine on, there's double Josh.
Double Josh, maybe they can actually hear me.
It's true. Michael, go ahead and turn on your mic.
Weaponized
Yeah,
snark.
scoot over.
Cool. Anyway, so turn my mic on. Vorksan is super distrusting. Are there any? You didn't describe any like windows, or so is it just like a closed area, or are there like windows and stuff?
Yeah, it's a closed-in area. There's a window, but it's back behind where the cafe lunch ladies are.
Lame.
There's a door. Doors
Cool.
that lead outside.
Well, I want to find a wall and pop a squat. Pop a squat. Yeah.
All right, you want to like go in the corner?
Yeah, just
or-
like a-
because most of the area is filled with these tables, the stage, and the fireplace. There's a little bit of space kind of on the wall by the fireplace where you can sit if you want to sit.
Yeah. I'll sit by the fireplace.
All right, so you go to sit by the fireplace with your plate of food, a little bit nicer food than you have had in a really long time.
Slash ever.
Your diet of apples has been most of what you've been eating for the past couple
I
months.
don't eat just apples. Fuck you.
Couple months.
Lego and Josh, both of you,
Just apples.
I'd like to remind both of you that this is a recording. I'm recording this right now, so y'all are gonna have to listen to double ups on this part.
That's fine. It's not. This isn't for me.
Gotcha.
I mean, cool.
Solace takes note of Vorksan sitting
So, anyway.
on the floor.
Yeah. Sit on the fireplace. Chill out.
What are you doing, Sauce?
He just notices Vorksan.
Okay. So, what's your passive perception?
Me?
Yes, you.
My passive perception is 11.
11. Okay, you kind of notice someone who's just kind of not staring at you, but just kind of looks in your direction.
Cool. Straight up don't care.
Cool. That's what happens. Everyone continues to eat their food. As you finish your food, two figures the cafeteria together. You notice them immediately. It is Ulrich and Delric come into the room and walk up upon the stage and wait for everyone to kind of quiet down. You get the sense that everyone else in this room kind of knows them as well, or has at least heard of them, because they quiet down a lot quicker than you think a room full of 100 people would quiet down, especially as they're eating food. Well, welcome, one and all, to the rites of the Suncrest. We finally have our 100, and soon we will have our right. I want you all to know that those who came here based on our picks and the picks of the other evaluators and the picks of the other instructors, we welcome you all here. This is somewhere that anyone and everyone can better themselves in any way that they want. Anyway, I just wanted to let you all know that everyone here is going to be assigned to an instructor by the end of the day. This year, we have an instructor for 10 people each. So there will be 10 instructors, 10 people to each instructor. And everyone will be training with those instructors for about a week. And at the end of that week is when actual rites will happen. Learn well, all of you, for you only have this week to learn the ways of the rites. Right. And then you are on your own. Ulrich kind of steps in. Like, I just want to say that you all look really sexy, and I think all of you are going to do really great. I'm one of the instructors too. I hope I get all of you, even though I'm only going to get 10. But yeah, have a good day, guys.
Vorksen half chokes on his food at the word sexy.
Solace goes, "Woo."
He kind of walks out immediately, leaving Dell there, and Dell kind of, anyway, we'll
Yeah.
see you soon. Goodbye. And they both walk out.
Still just like half blushing, trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
When he said that, Solace like whooped. Like, yeah.
All right. Cool. By the way, it's totally up to you guys. If you want to say something, you can just say something. You don't have to,
Wait for you to finish your sentence.
Well, you don't have to prime it with your character says something. You can just say it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Well, I'm struggling with an accent right now, so I think you'd be confused
To have
if
any
you
kind of
said
action,
it.
you can just say something. Anyway, so everyone is finishing up their breakfast. You see most of the people back towards the barracks. A couple people heading in another direction after they leave the house. After they leave the mess hall, and until all of you are still there, as well as maybe 10, 15 people still finishing their food. You notice the Aarakocra in the room has finished their food and is now reading from a book after finishing their food.
Are we allowed to have our
in the
weapons
same
with
spot
us?
that they were in. Your weapons are back in their bedrooms. You can go
Okay.
get them, but do not have them in the mess hall.
Out of character, is it just me, or is Michael's microphone more consistently picking up Josh than Josh's microphone?
It's
It
true.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, your microphone cuts in and out a lot, and then we can like
My
clearly
microphone
hear.
is the best.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure where that
Josh.
is, but oh,
Oh, Josh is
Yeah.
gone.
If you're switching to your headphones, you might have to restart your thing. Like your did you already? Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. He left because he hates all of you, and you all don't respect his art.
We respect
sounds
his
right.
art. We want to make it so that his method of
is changing
delivery.
his microphone from the snowball to his headset.
Sounds good. Michael, if I come up
Respect
there,
that.
He's
When
fixing
we
it, so
can
he'll be
hear
back soon.
yeah, if I come up there and visit y'all, I'm gonna take a look at y'all's audio situation.
I'm not sure if it's so much the because his audio was fine until Michael got on.
I think it's both of
Yeah.
their signals trying to compete for voice over IP and video at the same time.
Okay, fine,
But
I'll leave.
Michael's wins every time.
Can everyone
Guess.
hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We'll see how this works. Oh, really?
Happen.
Here, I'll unvideo myself and see if that helps.
Yeah, we only need it for battles anyway. So.
Cool.
All right.
We'll see if that helps at all.
All right. Cool. So as you're
I feel
So-
like letting the
Y'all-
I look at the Aarakocra and I'm just like, okay, the strange and magnificent bird person is reading and being quiet here, so I'm going to not interfere with that.
okay. Everyone else is still in the cafeteria, just sitting, doing.
Okay, yeah, Solace is definitely gonna go get his weapons, because Emerald was not aware he didn't have his daggers, so he's not comfortable with that.
All right. So you Solace heads back towards the let's call it the cabin where you stay in. The cabin.
Oh my God, we're not
Um,
campers.
you are. You're all
Fucking-
campers.
Camp Suncrest.
Welcome to the Suncrest Music Festival.
Yeah. You head in there and you go to where whichever bunk or bunk bed that you were at, and you look in your chest and you find all your belongings are still there,
Perfect.
and your
They weren't. They were
your
dead.
glaive is kind of resting against the side of the bed, kind of facing towards the wall, because it cannot fit in its chest. So,
Vorksan wants
Just to be clear to everyone, I know in whatever that game is, the glaive is like a spinny thing, but in this it's like a knocking. So
it's like a halberd.
Okay.
you guys
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's what a glaive was. I didn't realize a glaive could also be the throwy thing. I was always used to it being like a specific kind of like long stabby slashy stick.
Yeah.
It is
Me
the
too.
stabby slashy stick. I just Warframe happened to pick the name of another weapon for a different weapon because Warframe is dumb. So no, you
There we
are
go.
100% right. Like Emerald, that was totally my bad call. Like no, 100%.
No, you're fine. I just other people who play might not play Warframe. So.
Vorksan wants to just aimlessly wander.
Okay.
Is
See where
there?
he can go without getting in trouble?
I lean over to the chick next to me. I'm like, okay, so what do we do now?
Oh, Marin has already left.
Oh,
Marin has left with everyone else.
I lean over to nobody next to me and
You
say,
see that Marin is no longer there.
Is there a religious shrine type place here that I could go? Because I know that there's going to be like several deities, then there's probably going to be some.
You can walk around and.
I would like to walk around and look.
All right,
Okay.
so both Ivy and Vorksan put up their food and just go wandering.
Sweet.
Cameron, give me just give me an investigation check, I guess.
Okay.
You don't. I just want to see how long it takes you to find
16.
it. 16. Yeah. You, even though you have never been here before, you get lucky and you walk down one hall that leads to another hall that leads to a little bit of a little small courtyard. And you walk through the courtyard, and through that next door is where this small little chapel is. You see, whenever you walk through the chapel, there is just some benches. It's very simple looking. But whenever you look up at the front of where the chapel is, you see various different symbols of various different deities. You get the sense that this church has kind of been designed to not take the shape of any deity or anything like that, but to just be a place where those who need to pray or speak with deities can go.
It's multi-denominational.
It's very multi-denominational. Yeah, you see,
Gotcha.
you see many different
So,
crests.
Josh,
of,
my question is, do I see a rose surrounded by stalks of wheat?
yeah, you see it up on the top left.
So, do I see a burning anvil?
Yeah, you see that up in the middle.
Hey! Yeah, okay. And I take it that even though I'm not supposed to have weapons, I still have my pendant with me.
Yeah, it's
Good, I
it's
figured
around
so.
your neck, right? That's what you have
Yeah.
chosen to have as a necklace with the pendant on it. Yeah.
I'm just... I think I'm kind of settled with what I want my civilian clothes to be, by the way.
Sure.
Very simple pants and kind of like this weird poncho. Not quite a poncho, but like...
Only nerds wear ponchos.
If
Yes,
you want,
thank you. It'd
if
take
you
one to
want,
know.
Everybody can give a description of themselves, or you can wait until you all actually decide to talk and sit with each other and/or meet. Because
I like that.
has
I like
not
that,
happened.
actually.
Okay, we'll wait till then. Okay, so you go to the chapel. You are looking at the symbols,
Yes.
seeing a couple that you recognize.
Okay.
Michael
Yes,
Vorksan,
that's me.
you wander around for a little bit, and you manage to find a Stop looking at me like that. A courtyard.
No, I
A
just
chapel.
realized I turned my camera off so no one else could see that either. Anyway, sorry, I found a courtyard.
A chapel. Another cabin or housing area for the contestants. You also hear a bit of fighting and sparring going on, and you kind of walk closer to see that there is a big, giant training room with multiple levels on it. You kind of walk through there a little bit, see a couple of the contestants sparring with one another, a couple just using areas to meditate in. Walk around a little farther, you eventually find the entrance.
Sweet.
And it leads to the proving grounds, which you have definitely been to. So you just kind of see merchants on the streets, nice cobblestone road leading everywhere. The stadium is to your immediate left. It's now closer than you've ever been to it because you've never gone to a right before. You hadn't really cared about it since. You kind of go back in to look around and see if you can find any more. You come to a bit of a smaller room and notice the people that you saw in the mess hall that were speaking to everyone in there, along with a couple of other people in there. You kind of surmise this might be where the instructors are, their office or something, kind of like that. Walk around a little further. You look outside and there's another kind of training area, but this is more of like an obstacle course type situation where people can. What is?
I was about to say, oh, it's getting exciting now.
My bad. I didn't know that was supposed to be on. I just noticed my music's not playing.
No, it's not supposed to be on.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
That's why I don't want anyone touching it. Thank you, Cameron.
It wasn't me!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thing,
Fuck
guys.
you, Josh, it wasn't me!
You've been doing it since then.
Get wrecked, nerd.
I've been trying to help you since then, and now that you're going, I'm not. Easy. Million views, bam.
It's basically an obstacle course with different types of like monkey bars and places where you see a couple of the beefier people utilizing it. One guy's just doing massive amounts of crunches to the point of where you're like, oh my god, that guy needs to stop.
I wanna. Can I run
see
the
a-
obstacle course super casually?
Please.
You see a half orc to your right. Half orc kind of looks beefy like a barbarian, lifting a table with other contestants on it, up and down and up and down, and they're going, hey, hey!
Oh my god.
Yeah, sure, you can run it if you want to.
Sweet. Let's do it.
All right, you do it.
Cool.
Well,
Vortan is unimpressed with the obstacle course.
You're gonna be running the obstacle course. I want to go over to someone else while you're doing your thing.
Cool.
All right. So everyone else, Solus is in the cabin. Ivy is in the chapel. What is Maven
get my-
still in the cafe reading? Oh, there's
I'd like to
also.
get
I'm sorry. Go on.
I'd like to get my maul as well.
All right,
do
you head back to your cabin, and do you just want to get your maul, or do you want to put all of your gear and stuff on?
Nah. What gear? Just my maul.
I'm poor.
It's the same as the clothes I wear in battle, so.
All right.
Yeah, I grabbed my maul. Goes. Okay,
You get your
Smiley. I
trusty
don't know what
maul.
I'm doing.
You get your trusty maul as well as your wood carving tools and stuff like that. Your little pack that you have.
Okay, yeah, a little pack.
Remember, you have an adventuring pack.
All right, Smiley. I guess we should go smash things. You
All
think
right.
there's a place where you can smash things?
It's called Smiley.
Can I clarify? Can I ask? Did Solus hear her say that?
Yeah, there's not very many people and y'all are in the same cabin, so there's not very many people around. You do notice a pretty tall, beefy woman.
Beefy.
Say what she said. Yeah.
I've got a big meeting.
You
Cameron, stop it!
He's
Goliath.
definitely gonna chuckle a
Fuck
little
you.
bit. So.
All right. You kind of notice some chuckling coming from across the room. Somebody has heard you
From the peanut gallery.
talk to your mall.
Hello? Do you know where to smash things? I don't know where I am. I mean, I know I'm like,
I want to know where to smash. Hey.
I don't know what I'm doing here, honestly.
I'm always down for a good smashing.
Like,
Nice.
Do you know your way around here? Or, like, because I just got here last night, and...
I was thrown out of a portal, and then I just took a nap, so no.
Okay, so we're in the same boat. Okay, well... You wanna, like...
Anything's smashable if you don't care about the consequences.
You're a bad influence.
So you seem like you care, so maybe head towards the cheering.
The what?
You know the cheering sounds. Josh, can we hear those people on the table that are like?
You can still hear the sound of you can hear that sound of cheering is a little harder to hear, but you can kind of hear the up parts of it. From where you are, you guys hear more of the clanking of sparring coming from where you are.
There you go. Maybe follow the sounds of that.
Okay, I guess I'll do that. Yeah. My name's Pocket, by the way. I mean, my name isn't actually Pocket, it's Thea, but you don't even know that. I don't like that name.
Oh my god.
Just not that I'm trying to tell you what to do. It's just I prefer the name Pocket. Oh, nice to meet you. Okay.
All right.
I gotta go now.
As y'all are finishing this conversation, you see a Eric Cochran walk into the barracks and walk to their chest and put one of their books up and kind of sits down on their bed.
My goodness.
How eloquent.
I'm sorry. You just... It's a bird person. And it's an owl. That's like really cool. It's hard to say that. That's
All right.
really...
Since you're meeting each other, if you want to, out of the game, you can describe what you look like to everybody.
Just to clarify on this whole seeing Maven thing, Solace is like really fucking freaked out, but like he's not gonna say anything.
That's fine.
I feel like he's definitely never seen an Aarakocra before, but
not very many people
anyway.
have.
What?
Not many people have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Should I go describe myself first, I suppose?
Sure.
Good, go ahead. Sure, yeah.
Solace is very tall, like 6'5".
Same.
Very thin.
Thank you.
Short black hair. He wears a cloak, like a long black cloak, pretty much all the fucking time. He's real emo looking, really. But his features are like really almost feminine. Like they don't match his like personality very well, but yeah, that's Solace.
Well, Pocket is even taller. She's 8'7".
Oh, should I pull up the picture?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
8'7", pink eyes, gray skin, blue patterns on her face and arms. You can see. And she's got a long, dark brown braid.
Did you say 8'7"?
But her size of her hair. 8'7".
Okay, cool.
Tall.
Yeah.
The
And
hammer.
her head is shaved.
The
So it's
hammer.
just like a braid hawk that keeps going. And yeah, she looks like the picture.
Oh, I love the hammer. It gets me every time.
Yeah. That's I'm all smiley. Yeah.
If you
Anyway, so I'm just gonna follow that noise then and see if I could train. I guess that's what I'm here for. Bye.
That was awkward.
I think the best I can do.
Yeah, right. Okay.
All right, Kiki.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it's
as the half elves or sorry halflings have started leaving the cafeteria, one of them bids you adieu and says they're going to go into the training room for a bit of group sparring if you ever want to join them in there.
can I join now? I asked them.
Yeah. What you guys think? Yeah, sure. We're going there right now. All right, so you
Cool.
you follow them into the training group, and they begin to do first exercises of just hand-to-hand punches versus deflections. You notice that two of them are fighters, and one of them is a druid. He's just kind of sitting down and meditating, and the last one you don't know what he is because he's just kind of sitting there. Not really doing anything. He seems like the lazier one. One of them asks you if you want to go. Like you want to have a go.
Oh. Wait, with oh, yes.
Because they're doing punch deflects right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
You did.
All right. We can do this for a second if you want. Give me just a straight strength roll. Actually, hold on. Do you want to be the attacker or the deflector?
Probably deflector.
All right. Well, never mind. Give me a dexterity roll.
Yeah, I can do that. Oh, 8.
8. All right. You see a punch. You see a punch coming for the side of your face. You manage to deflect it at the very slightest, and it kind of grazes your neck, kind of giving you a little bit of a red streak. And the guy who's attacking you is kind of going, "Oh, gotta be a little faster than that." Goes for another punch. Give me another dexterity roll.
Ooh, nat 20.
Natural 20. All right, he comes with another punch, and you manage to deflect it so hard you kind of send him going into the guy who is just sitting there, and he kind of just stumbles into them, and they kind of fall to the ground. And the guy gets up and he goes back into the area, kind of blushing. And
Sounds like someone got wrecked.
you continue to do so for the next few minutes, hanging out with them and training with them. Does anybody else want to do anything?
How much time has it been since I've sat down?
Since everyone has left the cafeteria, it's probably been only about 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes since everyone has left.
I just want to say Josh's voice is a lot clearer now with Michael's face off.
Yes.
It's well, and I think it also has
And
to
a
do
new
with
headset.
that fucking microphone.
Yeah. Kind of does.
Too.
It's great whenever it's in the good program, I imagine. But if it's just like Skype.
Right.
But so yeah, if it's been about 45 minutes, I've.
Alice has no idea what the hell.
You have no idea what the hell what?
No idea what the hell he's gonna do here.
Well, you can walk
Like-
around and look around if you want to. You can sit there and stand and do nothing. You can do whatever you want to.
Since it's
His entire life is basically like espionage, but now he's in like a tournament. So like,
Yep.
what is he doing?
I mean, you can sit alone with your thoughts if you want to. That's an option. Trying to just take your space in.
I'll
Say that again.
Can he go out looking for Delric?
You want to go find Delric?
Yeah.
Sure.
I was planning on coming back from the shrine.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
Where do you
make my
wanna
way
go from the shrine?
back to the barrack, give it back to my little cabin, and I take
Okay.
it that on the way back to the cabin, I probably see people sparring.
The way that you're going, you can hear it. It is to your immediate left. In down the hall a little bit to the left of you, but walking from where you walked, you can definitely hear it. But you're currently walking back to the barracks, so.
Okay. I'm probably figuring that a couple of the things that oh, what's the man's name? Of course, I'm blanking now. Tobias was telling me. Yes, Dingus. Thanks, Michael. Dingus McCringle. Yeah, no, shut up. Tobias was telling me to do. It's like he's probably gave me a couple of ideas of trying to, better myself in combat and as, servant of Gentia. So.
Well, if you remember from your early training as a cleric, as far as your combat skills goes, he is the one who helped train you through all that. So a lot of your combat prowess comes from Tobias's teaching.
Okay. I'd like to go and get
Wrecked.
Michael,
I'm sorry.
I
I just eternally treat Cameron as a Mad Lib when he pauses to complete his own sentence. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my armor and my mace and my shield.
Okay. Also, there are bathrooms.
There
for
are?
anyone yeah, there are bathrooms here. So if anyone feels like they are uncomfortable changing and stuff in an open area like their cabin, they can.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom just to use the bathroom.
All right. So on your way to go towards the noise, you have a feeling of, oh, I think I drank too much juice for breakfast. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Let me go find the bathroom.
Yeah. I take a little bit of time, get my weapons together. I leave my crossbow because crossbows is not something you can normally. Actually, I could do marksman training, but I'm pretty sure that here you don't want to train with other people with a crossbow.
Well, you haven't looked around to see if you can train with a crossbow anywhere yet, so you don't know.
I've already said I've gone back. I've changed. I'm in, my Under Armour, and then I put on my plate armor. My scale, not my plate armor, my scale mail, and kind of my helmet, and I got my shield and my mace, and I just go back to where I heard the noise.
So,
I would like to find a place to break things.
all right, so
That are,
you go
meant to be break. What?
you go towards the noise.
Yes.
After
the noise.
relieving yourself, you walk up behind. You see someone in front of you in scale mail of a female variety, and you kind of walk towards the same area where the noise is. Big wooden doors, and you open the doors and you see a multi-level training area where people are sparring in one end. There's a couple people just kicking at flour and feather-filled sacks. There's on the next level you can see people just practicing movement stuff. There is a couple people on the third floor just running in circles on some kind of track. Anyway, so you walk into this space, and on your immediate kind of halfway down in the room, you do notice that there is a group of particular halflings that are sparring with each other.
Oh.
Well,
Oh, I do notice that?
Yeah, you,
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Can you... Okay.
do I
do
see?
you want to go over to Kiki?
Yes, I run
Hearing
over.
this, noticing. I take it this whole time. I've kind of noticed this large Goliath,
behind
just
you.
behind me. I may have peeked over once or twice.
Mhm.
And then I'm probably
So are you gonna
Probably-
push? Are you gonna push Ivy out of the way, or are you gonna try to like get around?
Oh, yeah, I probably just ran like
Just like bowl straight through
past
me.
her and like not even noticing her anymore.
Alright. So in running and running past you and kind of bumping into you, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Hey, Cameron, remember earlier when I mad-libbed you and I said you were gonna get wrecked? It was actually it was a premonition.
I hate
What'd
your
you get, my
premonitions,
dude?
Michael.
What'd you get, my dude?
Michael was right.
What'd you get, my dude?
I got a 3.
You got a 3?
No, that's not true. I got a 4.
All right, you got a 4.
Fuck
Alright,
you,
so
Michael.
In doing this, as you're running, Pocket, you hit the shoulder of someone and immediately hear a clank hit the ground as the kind of shudder of chainmail hits the floor.
Oh crap! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Wait, just
Turns around and
Should I wait
I'd like
here?
to pick her back up if I can. Like set her back on her
Ugh.
feet. I am so sorry. I just got way too excited.
It's no problem.
I went over to Kiki.
all right, so it picks you up and immediately runs the other way.
I'm just watching this whole ordeal going.
Towards Kiki. Kiki, you hear somehow that footsteps in the room have gotten a little bit louder. You don't know why. You're still continuing to spar, and then you hear the words.
Kiki! 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 Kiki!
Oh, God.
Come from across the room and coming closer towards.
You remember the deer? The deer, that was me.
By the way,
Wait,
all of the
charging?
halflings that are here right now have noticed the charging.
Goliath, the charging Goliath with the giant
Goliath.
hammer.
And have stopped whatever regular continuous joking that they have and are now 100% silent and kind of starting to back away.
Yeah, I'm gonna prepare to take like evasive maneuvers if necessary.
Michael,
Alright,
Michael, you remember whenever you would like run up on people in the band hall with your creep face whenever you plan on like tickling them into submission? That's how I imagine this whole thing going down. Like everyone's like backing away and Brooke's got that Michael is coming look in her face.
All right, so
It's a self-preservation thing. They have the wide eyes, and they sacrifice one of their own to live themselves.
a very tall barbarian woman is charging towards you, yelling "Kiki, Kiki."
God.
Do I
I'm
make it?
still not totally recognizing her. yet.
Okay, well she is still barreling towards you, about 20 to 15 feet away now. Has kind of tried to weave through people that are training, maybe knocking down one or two. Like, what the? And
Oh my gosh, I actually
Okay.
know somebody.
It's
I'm
getting
dead.
even better.
It's like pinball.
And I'm like, oh my God, Pocket. And I attempt to jump in the air into like a hug, you know.
all right, sure. I guess make an acrobatics check.
All right.
She flexes and catches your face in between her
nat
pecs.
20 again.
Like a fucking lemur, you just woo!
Halfling Goliath.
Jumping,
The most epic hug.
hugging,
You jump
hugging
your
this
body.
massive barreling Goliath.
Yeah, you jump
Bert,
your.
casual request. Stop using all your good rolls. All right.
I'm sorry.
What are you gonna use them on right now?
I don't know. She could save them for later though, because I don't know what we're using them on right now.
Michael, the only
Alright.
person you
Oh
need to
my
worry about
gosh,
having good
Kiki,
rolls
what are you
left is
doing?
me, because I'm gonna be fixing your
I don't-
ass.
Fair.
I don't even know. Why are you here?
I don't really know either. I was just
God.
like in a completely different place earlier, just looking for some fire flowers, and
Fire flowers, huh?
it was just crazy stuff happened, and there was this competition, and I got money, and then I lost the money because of some guy that needed the money. But then like this other guy was like, "Hey, you're good," and gave me fire flowers. And then there was like this thing in the streets, and this guy came up, and
Nice.
What a story.
Can I just like watching this whole scene? Can I just like slowly walk over out of curiosity?
If you
please?
want to, yeah, you can
Yeah.
walk closer as they are rapidly talking to one another.
Okay.
I
I just want to listen to this.
you
This
doing
whole
here,
ordeal.
Kiki?
I don't know.
How did you get here?
Well, there were these badges, and I was like, I need one of them, or crests or whatever. I was like, gotta have one of these. And then this really cute guy was like, yeah, you help me, I'll get you one. So yeah, now I'm here.
Yeah, the guy that I'm like, is kind of attracted to.
Ooh, what was his name?
I don't even know if he told me.
if you want, you can,
I don't
you can
know.
do
He
it,
was
you can
like
do it.
dark, and he had these dreads, and
You mean
I don't know. He was
Ulrich?
really sneaky most of the time. Oh, the guy, he was on stage earlier.
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
is
that's
that
him,
Ulrich?
Yeah, that's the dude.
Then yeah.
Man, that's the dude. Yeah. Yeah.
That is weird. That is really weird.
Totally.
both of
kinda
you, at the realization of this, kind of wonder to yourselves, because you both arrived here yesterday and met Ulrich yesterday in two very different places. So you are just kind of, I don't know, astounded by that fact.
Yeah, that it.
But
that
we
is
already
incredibly
teleported
strange.
here,
I got
right?
here like
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
But like,
a lot of
okay.
magic up his butt. You know, to be able to teleport that many times.
Kept the whole magic up his butt.
All right. So as you're talking about this, you notice the very woman that you ran into on your way towards Kiki
Mowed down.
has started walking up towards the both of you.
I am so sorry once again that I just completely just.
No.
All right.
Wait,
If you want,
I just started
Cameron,
giggling a little.
if you want, Cameron, you can now describe yourself to the group and them.
So while stuff was happening, I did a tiny sketch. I'm really bad. I haven't drawn in a while, and I wasn't really but I did something of a rough sketch of what my kind of casual / worship garb is. So send it to the Hangouts. But yeah, I'm like 5 foot.
Boo! No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
yeah,
5 foot ass.
Oh, yeah, I'm 5'8".
Ass.
A lifetime
Yes.
of like a fair amount of my childhood spent in either spent in service of a church, and then recently being trained in heavy armor and athletics. I've got some pretty decent tone, pretty condition. I'm pretty good. I'm kind of happy.
This is kind of what.
Kind of kind of big wide eyes. I just look around a lot. Like I'm always just trying to take in life. And yeah, very short hair, very short white hair.
Ooh,
Short.
that's cool.
White hair.
And for everyone,
Age.
Early
Young.
20s.
for everyone, this is what Kikira looks like.
Yeah, it's me.
I didn't mention age earlier either.
I didn't think mine mattered. I was just a young adult.
Are we all pretty much young adults?
Almost a 17, so.
Oh, dang, that's good to know.
Wow.
I'm like adult. I'm like 40 something.
Oh my God, you're like a fantasy James Dean.
What?
Hello? Sorry, it broke up.
Never mind. Oh,
Final
That's
Fantasy
not-
what?
generation, but
I know who James Dean is. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand the reference.
Wait, what was the reference? I missed it.
Just a very simple, like, just rogue without a cause.
Hmm.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
you can now continue your regular conversation. I just wanted
Nice
to-
calming, yeah, nice calming smile, white hair, big.
Okay. Okay.
So you
Nice.
see this this woman come up to you and is not as mad as you think that a normal person would be if you just knocked them over, because a couple people behind her are kind of glaring at you a little bit, but also still trying to focus on what they're doing.
Well, I'm Pocket.
Hello, Pocket.
Hey.
And I like reach up with my, with one of my, put my maul back on my belt, and I just kind of reach up and. Your hand is definitely bigger than mine, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is this like I try to like shake one? I try to like shake two of your fingers? I guess. Are your hands like that big?
I don't know, but I mean,
Or you like grab my whole hand and shake my arm?
not that big. But I mean, it's just I can hold your hand and like within my hand probably.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, just shake
But,
your
yeah.
hand.
And this is Mr. Smiley. I'm all. This is Smiley. And this is
I
Kikira.
love it.
She's my friend.
I look
Kira.
up and sort of wave.
My name is Ivy.
Oh, nice to meet you.
What's your
Yeah,
last?
so-
what's your last name?
Did we introduce last names?
If
Or
you
is it?
want
Oh, it's
to.
common currency. Yeah. I am Ivy Sisao.
You can write that.
The sow?
Sarah Sao.
How do you spell that, Karen?
SERSAU.
Thank you.
SERSOU.
A-U.
AU.
Hey you.
Yes.
Hey
A-U.
I think we're making two different references there, but I'm okay with all of them.
Anyway.
Know what the reference is. I hate this
Yeah.
little flip folders.
Kiki, make a perception roll for me real quick.
Yay. Okay. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
All right. All of the halflings that were behind you have now left, except for the one who was laying on the wall previously, who is now fallen asleep.
Wait, I'm sorry, I missed that. My thing keeps... Let me try to turn my camera off. I keep breaking up. Okay, can you repeat that?
All of the halflings behind you have immediately left from that area, and there's only one left, and it's the one who had been leaning against the wall. He is now asleep.
Oh no, my friend.
They have.
Did I scare off your friends?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. No.
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess they did react the same way you did when I first met you, you know? Yeah. But hey, Ivy, thanks for not running away even though I smashed you into the ground.
Looking past Kiki, you do see that there's just like a pit kind of that is in the most central part of the room that is just kind of filled with boulders and rocks and stuff. You see a couple of them have been smashed, and as you're kind of looking past, and you see one more half orc come up and put on some kind of special gauntlets and starts trying to beat up one of the rocks.
Hey.
It kind of looks like this is a area where people can in fact beat the shit out of something.
Now that looks fun. I need to
Anyway,
get in on that.
that is
Does
something.
anybody want to join me?
I will
Smashing?
watch you.
I don't know what good I don't know what kind of damage I could do to a rock, but I'll certainly come with
I
you.
mean, anything you can do that involves like you have to do is hit it, I guess. I don't know what weapon do you use?
I have my mace and
Mace. I mean, that'll smash. No, right? That's what maces do. I don't know. I've never actually seen
yes,
it in
yes.
action.
You have a general education of all things bludgeoning.
Or at least it's easy for enough for you to figure it out. Like, thing with a stick.
It
hit
looks
with
like
stick.
a club.
Easy.
And I mean, Kiki. I don't know. You can.
I'm watching. I'll just watch above the pit.
My mentor always told me that the most important thing you can do in life and in the field of battle is to stay on your feet, and I've already challenged that once, so if I'm going to learn, if this is where I'm to learn how to be a better warrior, then you seem to be as good enough of a teacher as any.
Teacher?
Or at least,
Okay.
or at least someone to learn something from.
Well, your teacher person sounds like a nice guy. I mean, wise guy. Anyway,
God.
The wise guy.
He's a wise guy, see?
All right,
it's
so
gonna go smash now.
yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm going with, and I
you-
pull out my mace and kind of twirl it a little for fun.
All right, you, Kiki, and Ivy go towards the smashing pit, as it is called.
Smashing.
I'm going to use that as if I run any other kind of role-playing game. I'm going to use that as the name of a bar. Josh, bless you. The Smashing Pit.
Smashing pit.
All right. So you go over there and do that. We're gonna go ahead and bamf back because we're gonna have a break here in a minute. So I want to get both Emerald and Michael's things in real quick. So Michael, you are looking at the obstacle course. Do you still want to take it, or have you gotten bored?
I already ran it. I ran it like 3 times while I was
You
waiting
ran it like
for
3
you.
times. All right. Go ahead and give me 3 dexterity checks, 1 acrobatics check, and a Constitution check.
All right. You did that all at once.
Yeah, I
so-
know.
What was the first one?
3 dexterity checks. Okay.
All right. So there.
Give me your highest one out of the 3 of them.
20.
Is it a natural 20 or
No,
is it a
it
20?
adds up to a
Okay.
20.
Okay.
And then what was it in acrobatics next?
Yes.
And, okay. 13 for that, and then
Okay.
for the Constitution, right?
Yeah.
20 as well.
Run your Constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of the times that people have listed on their on their runs through the obstacle course, after your 3rd time of being so determined to just beat the rest of the times because somebody is anal about getting the best times,
That's me.
you manage on your last try to get through the entirety of the gauntlet, managing to run through many of the tunnels, scale most of the walls, get through the flaming pit of fire into the very end, and yeah, you managed to get the highest time, which is 1 minute and 25 seconds. So if you want, you can write that down for later because it might be beaten later.
Wow, cool. I'm gonna have to.
There's another week, dude. People can beat that shit. You don't know.
What was it? 1 minute and
25 seconds. By the way, oh shit. Wait, you ran it 3 times?
yeah.
You take 5 points of fire damage. From all of that. But if you want, you can take a short rest and use your hit die to recover any of that if you want to. And you're gonna recover your hit die later anyway. So it's more of a fluff thing. You took damage during that because you went through a ring of fire.
All right, cool. Well, I used my hit die to recover that back, I guess, because.
Is he dead yet?
It's a dangerous thing that people try to one up each other on.
Cool. Well, I did it. I did the uppiest.
All right. Is there anything else you want to do in this time? Do you want to go looking around some more, or?
Did I see like a small library or a bookshelf or anything with?
Well, whenever you found the obstacle course, you just kind of stopped and went.
I know, but I'm saying in the stuff that I have been,
And the stuff that you have been, you have not found it yet. But you have not finished wandering around.
Cool. Well, I'd like to finish wandering.
All right. So you wander around a little bit longer. You eventually come upon a part that opens up to a field, and you find a bunch of archers and people with crossbows and stuff like that shooting at targets. There's also an outside track that people are running, and looks like a few people are playing some sort of tackling game where it looks like they are get to one end or the other end and tackling each other while they're doing it. You've never seen this before, so you don't know what the hell they're doing.
It's football.
I was gonna say sumo.
It's kind of like football mixed with sumo wrestling a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you see that you do you want to stop there or do you want to keep going?
Yeah, I want to keep going.
Okay, you keep going.
I do pause at the archery a little bit and briefly contemplate throwing a dagger at one of the really far targets just to one up people, and then I decide I don't want to walk all the way out there to get my dagger, so I keep going.
Cool. All right, so you walk a little further and you find an office kind of door. You walk through it. You see a big plus symbol on it. You walk through it, and this is the infirmary. There's
Is it plus ultra?
sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Dang it, but that's
So you walk in there, and there's currently 3 people in the infirmary. One dude who has a broken leg. Another dude on the left side of the room is just clenching his arm because he got cut while he was training, and then there's a third one who's just puking his guts out in the bathroom. And the nurse in there is a cleric. She has a symbol of Arathis around her neck, and she looks like she's done with every. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Kelsey being obnoxious. Sorry.
It's recovery girl. She's tired of everyone's garbage.
Yeah. No, never mind. Okay, we're gonna keep on.
Okay, keep going.
It was a witty quip, and then I decided that I wouldn't want to be mean to the people who are in the infirmary. So.
Okay, cool. So you go further on, and you do find a smallish kind of size library, but most of the. Do you want to go into the library room?
I do.
All right, you go into the library room. You see multiple shelves of books, a couple of people reading at the tables. You do notice the Aarakocra that you noticed in the cafe has now come into this library room and is now reading, has a stack of books, and is now reading from the stack of books.
As I walk by, I want to glance at see what kind of books the Aarakocra's reading.
Sure. As you're walking by?
Yes.
All right.
In the library, like walking towards this other shelves, but I want to walk by casually and see what.
Sure. Before you look at other books that are on the shelves, you glance. You see one book is a book on warlock magic and how to best use your spells. Another book is just general combat scenario tactics. Another one is about flowers. Another one is about meditation, and the last one is about hobbies in the material plane.
Okay. Being generally uninterested in most of those, but raising eyebrows at the last one because I still don't know what an Aarakocra is or what the actual word for that is. I walk past the bird person, and I would like to look the shelves for anything relating to Dragonborn culture or heroes or
Make an investigation check.
any type things like that. Investigation?
Yes.
How about 11?
11?
Yeah.
So walking through most of the library, you kind of get the sense that most of the books here are very combat oriented. since this is a place where people train for a rite. Most of the books here have to do with strengthening their skills or general battlefield tactics and stuff like that. There are a couple of sections here and there that are on like life in the material plane and things to do while you're investing and stuff like that. You do find one just about the history. It's a general history of Meloria that has a little bit about Dragonborns in it. You kind of look at the chapters on the front. The
Index.
what? No, the
The
index is in the back.
Table of contents. Index
Table of
for-
contents, yeah, in the front. And you see there's one section. There's one section on Dragonborn.
Okay, well then I would like to revise my search Google. I want to look for anything regarding like the known races and their like abilities and traits.
Abilities and traits.
Yes, of like known races.
Leave the bird person alone.
He's
What?
leaving the bird person alone.
I am leaving. I'm in a library. I've said no words to anyone. I am. I'm this definition
Following
of-
the rules of the library, but trying to learn more about the strange bird.
I said leave it alone.
Well, in looking in the book that you have in front of you, there is a section on races in the material plane and other races. But if you don't want to look through that, there are other books on other specific races. If you want to look for anything specific, or if you want to look for something more general, it's up to you. You have this book in front of you still before you.
So wait, this one has like I can read about like races and their traits and stuff like that.
Not their traits specifically; it's more generic. So, are you looking specifically something about traits of races?
Yes. So like Dragonborn have a breath. Goliaths are large.
Stuff
Things like that.
Go ahead and make one more investigation check. This is kind of a
Gnomes are
specific search.
charismatic.
14.
14. You walk along one of the sides of the books, and it's just a book with a spine that says racial tactics, which is a very strangely worded book.
Finding it appropriate,
I
works
was about
in
to say,
racial
that is-
tactics. I want to open it
And you open it up to the first page, and in parentheses it says traits gained or received by each of by most. Okay, it says traits received or given by races in the material and surrounding planes
Sweet.
by David Brubeck.
I scoff at the name of the author of this book. And then I kind of like,
Okay, hold on. Does anyone else here know who David Brubeck is?
No, I was about to Google it on recording.
Okay.
okay, well, while Cameron's Googling and would like and should share with us as soon as possible, I kind of like out loud to myself say, all right, David, tell me something. So, and I flip through the book. I want to find any chapters.
Oh, you want to find? All right. You mean you're looking for chapters?
In the book. I'm flipping through the book. I'm flipping the nips.
Shut up.
I want to find anything on Dragonborn, and then I want to find like a miscellaneous. Try to figure out what the bird thing is.
Okay, so first,
Instead of asking.
so since you're looking through the pages willy-nilly instead of going to a chapter and doing it that way, you're kind of coming towards.
Fine. I want to look at the table of contents and go to those.
All right, so you see a table of contents, you see Dragonborn, and you see many other races. So you go to Dragonborn first,
Sweet.
and basically all it is telling you is that depending on the color of the dragon, depends on a very specific breath trait that they have. You read about how blue dragons have the ability to spawn lightning from their mouths, and you remember having done that at least once in your life, maybe a couple times. Maybe it wasn't something you could wield immediately at will, but it's something that in a time of stress you were able to produce. So you read a little bit more about it, and it kind of explains how they're able to do it, how they're able to gain the energy within through their dragon ancestry, and then present that whatever elemental breath they have, but not being able to do so over and over again. It requires a resting period for them because it is kind of like a taxing thing for them to do. Read through a couple of more of it, seeing like red dragons with fire and brass dragons and stuff like that. There's also a little bit of a disclaimer in this section saying how while in the past most chromatic dragons have been seen as more evil of the dragonborn, there having been kind of a re-enlightenment of sorts over the past 1,000 years or so, has made them a little bit more tame, and it's more dependent upon their background or as they grow up, depending upon what their alignment is. And then you just see a distinction between city dragonborn and clanborn.
What all does that say? Being interested in that, not understanding what a clanborn is necessarily.
Okay, so it doesn't have
difference.
much information on it, but basically it's telling you that throughout history, there's been a pretty big divide between dragonborn people of whether or not they should all live in a community together and join the other sentient races to establish themselves, or keep to themselves and keep to the elements and only worry about themselves. This kind of created a divide between the people. The people who wanted to become a part of the other sentient races built their own city, the shining city of Delmarev, which you have heard about. And the others went off in their own clans, generally divided by color. But though there are some clans that they're grouped by their purpose or their meaning. Go off and lived basically on the land and found a place and created little villages for themselves, usually hidden away from most of the bigger cities because, like I was saying before, they wanted to stay away from the rest of kind of civilization and live by themselves.
Yeah, I angrily shut the book, having learned nothing, and then remembered that there were other things I wanted to look for. So I opened back up to the table of contents and try to find the other miscellaneous races or whatever. And
all right, now flipping through the book, not really knowing what you're looking for, you eventually come to a page that says creatures of the wind plane. And the first one you see is, boom, right there, Aarakocra.
Alphabetical.
You see,
Nice.
You see that they come from this land that is filled with lush forests and massive skies. They're, at least as far as the Aarakocra are concerned, they have cities, but they're more like, imagine Egypt. It's kind of like that. So it's like the greener Egypt without any of the deserts. So the really beautiful parts of Egypt, closer to the rivers, and stuff like that.
Fucking cool.
And their civilization is more of made out of stone and like pyramids and stuff like that, but not like all pyramids. It's it's that kind of idea.
Okay.
And the immediate opposite to them is a race of flightless birds called the Kenku. And from what it has on them, it just says that they have been cursed from their flight, and that they despise and hate the Aarakocra and resent them for helping lead to their eventual curse, and vow to return it.
Their curses.
Yeah, and it also says here that most of them are mimicry, meaning their intelligence is more based on things that they hear and learn immediately, as opposed to learning by themselves. So they have to learn through something else instead of learning on their own. And they usually like to travel in packs, and they're kind of nasty. So that is all you can learn from that book.
Cool. Morgan's pretty satisfied, and he closes the book and puts it back in the general area of where he got it from. Maybe not necessarily where he pulled it from because he wasn't all the way paying attention where he got it from.
All right, you kind of place it on its side on the same
Playing
bookshelf you got
character.
it from, but not where you actually put it in, just to
Sweet.
be a little bit of a dick.
I mean, I wasn't trying to be a dick. I just didn't remember. And I was like, yeah, it was about
Okay.
here, so I put it back. And then I'll just head back to my room and chill out. Well, my room.
All
cabin.
right. As you're heading back to your room, Solace is Solace is walking around, somehow trying to find where Delric may be. You
Got
pass
that, eh?
through where there's a courtyard and a chapel. It's the wrong way. You find the area where everyone's training. You kind of peek in a little bit to see if Del might be here, but all you see is the cleric that you met earlier, as well as a very giant-looking gray person who is now smashing rocks at an alarming rate.
I think you mean the other way around.
Huh?
Me, maybe.
I said a gray person.
Yeah, but you said the cleric that.
No, I said you noticed a cleric
That I
and
met
you
earlier.
also- yeah, they met earlier, and
didn't
a
meet-
gray
didn't meet
person.
Ivy.
Didn't meet Ivy.
Yeah.
She met me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I noticed that the gray person you met earlier, Pocket, is now smashing the fuck out of a bunch of boulders.
I guess I am.
And a little interruption here, just for fluff. It's been about another 30 or 40 minutes since Pocket Kiki and Ivy has started smashing boulders. After you pretty much smash all of them, you see an old man kind of come out of the door, a door connecting to the area, move you guys out of the way, put his hand on the earth, and watch as 5 more boulders come up from the earth. And he sighs.
Oh!
That's really cool.
And he sighs and walks back in. Towards you.
Is it like a frustrated sigh, or is it like a content kind of pleased sigh?
It's a little bit of both. He's like, his internal monologue is more of a
These dead gunkies.
yeah, more like these dadgum barbarians. Yeah,
Usually, I was hoping that I wouldn't have to come out here as often.
yeah. Anyway, so you pop out of there and you walk further, find the acrobatics area, obstacle course area where the previous orc who had been lifting a table with a bunch of people on it is now lying on the floor, fast asleep, snoring loud enough to where you can kind of hear it in the hallway. So you are now walking, you kind of walk around and you find a hall that leads towards something that looks like the outside and another office wooden door kind of looking thing on the right of it.
Locked?
No, it is. It turns whenever you open it.
Oh, well, I'm not going to completely open it. I mean, I'm going to check the doorknob to see if it's locked. I'm not just going to
Yeah, that's what I'm
bust in
saying. That's
here.
what I'm saying. Is
Okay.
you
Bust
try
in,
to
do it.
turn and it turns. It turns all the way.
Then I keep my hand on it and just, like, knock
Pop
a
your,
little bit.
you're like, oh, you're knocking. Okay.
Just a little bit.
All right. You kind of
Like the smallest of knocks.
like.
Very small knock.
All right.
I didn't
And,
hear that, so yeah, just like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then
Anyway.
I open the door.
Okay. You open the door and you find that this is indeed the room where the instructors are. There are currently, right now, there are 6 of them in here. One that you recognize, and all of the others you don't recognize. But you notice there is one who is a a very darker skinned, taller but lankier woman who has a staff. Looks to be a leaf pattern is kind of carved into her staff. You see another man, dwarven, sheathing his weapons. You see a cloaked figure. His hood is off, just writing some notes. And behind him, kind of looking out the window, you notice kind of from the back the same shaved, dark-skinned head that you recognized before whenever he took you through a portal. Delric is currently looking out the window towards what looks to be the archery area. And of course, there's a couple other people in here sitting around, mostly talking towards the left on a table, talking about who they think they want to have in their training groups and who they hope they get. But as soon as you kind of walk in, people kind of notice you, and are a little bit curious. One of the instructors from the table looks up and like, can I help you?
Bust.
Are you looking for the training floor? It's back that way.
No,
And,
actually, I'm looking for that guy.
Yeah, and
I'm
as
gonna
he
point
kind of
right at him.
as he recognizes your voice, Delric turns around and kind of perks up a little bit, noticing you, and he's like, "Oh, hello. Did you need something?"
What do you suggest that I do here?
Oh, okay, I see. I'll be right back. He turns to tell everyone, and he steps out in the hall with you. So, I take it you met the rest of the contestants.
I observed them, yes.
Yeah. So basically, what's going to happen here? I don't know if you heard in the cafeteria, is here in a couple hours. Actually, the evaluators are going to give us, the instructors, our lists of people that are going to be in our training groups, and for the next week, those people are going to be under people like my instruction and the rest of the people in theirs instruction, and we're basically going to teach you some of the things that might show up in the right, because we don't even know what's going to actually be in the right. There's only been 2 rights since we formed our new government, and each time there has been different trials for the right. So I can only prepare you for what might be. Anyway, basically what you can do till now is interact with people if you want to. I know you're really not very keen on that, it seems. You can train. There's a chapel if you need to, and noticing the symbol that you have kind of on your person.
How
There's
would
a chapel
you feel
where-
about my building a this is Emerald pausing, I forgot the fucking word. Altar.
Where, like here in the...
Well, my god is a lesser deity, and I don't believe he would be represented here.
Mhm. Well, you could maybe search around outside or something, or maybe have something by your bed, like just a little itty bitty makeshift kind of thing if you want to. I mean, you could ask, if you want, you could ask for materials or something like that if that's something that you need. You want to
Oh,
ask
I don't
for.
really need any materials. Is it just okay if it's more private?
Sure, I mean, you'd have to find somewhere private in this area filled with people, but yeah, you can do that.
Just someplace that's
I'll-
not my bed.
Yeah, I'll let you do that, but you're probably gonna have to do that later at night, or at least go
Oh,
somewhere
night's
where
the best
no one
time.
else.
That's fine.
Go somewhere where no one is right now, because there's generally at least a few people everywhere.
I love both of those options. That's fine.
Okay. Is there anything specific you wanted to ask him? Delric is kind of waiting patiently, saying he does point out to you that throughout the process of the rite, relying in skills that are beyond your own is something that you're going to have to do. So making friends, or at least acquaintances or allies, before you join the rite might be helpful to you in getting your crest if you really truly want to be one of the 10 who get their crest. And he very much emphasizes the fact that only 10 are going to get their crest this year.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, you kind of take in the fact that you've seen about 100 people here, not counting the instructors and all of the help and everything like that. And you might not be worried, but the scale of it is kind of frightening to you. Just how.
Oh, yes. Solace is always afraid.
Yeah. Okay. So you are pretty afraid of the fact that there are 100 people here, and
that a great portion of them are definitely stronger than him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's
and
very clear.
He does kind of look you up and down and says that depending on who you make allies with, you could you could make it to later stages of the fight, but you also have to rely on your own skills as well. Without telling you something that would compromise you, he basically looks at you and says, "The rites that I have been a part of, they throw everything and anything they can at you all at once. You're going to have to be ready for situations of trusting people, not trusting people at the same time, and being on guard. That's what this rite is supposed to teach you. So, with that information, do what you will with it with this week that you have to hopefully gain allies or gain some type of edge on the other competition. You're going to have about a week to learn the strengths and weaknesses of pretty much all of your contestants here, and that's all you're going to have." So
that sounds a bit like my entire life. I have to be confident. Thanks, man.
yeah, no problem. If you need anything else, we do have boxes at the front. Like, he kind of points towards the door, and there's a little box on the front of it with a little slit that you can drop notes off for people. It's more specifically for people who have instructors already, trying to get notes to them to talk to them about something, because he then tells you that most of the instructors that you'll be getting, and I say this most of them because some of them are they're very qualified, but they're not as helpful as people like I can be. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that we are also here for private teachings if you feel like you need something more intense or something more specific. So anyway, I have to get going. I have to keep staring out a window.
That's great.
He kind of laughs. And he says, "I'm actually waiting on my brother. I'm very hungry, and he has not returned with our dinner. So."
That's great. Need any private?
Huh? You kind of cut out there. Emerald.
He says, if either of you need any private lessons, you know where to find me. And I wink at him.
He kind of is taken back.
And walk away.
All right. And he kind of walks into the walks back into the room, blushing a little bit, but also a little dumbfounded that someone that he has also just met is also hitting on him. Because it's happened more than once in the past 2 days.
Gotta get that all the time. Oh my goodness.
All right. And with that, we're gonna go take a quick break. I know we don't. What'd you say, Emerald?
Dinger dinger durgan.
Precisely.
We're gonna take a 10-minute break, and then we're gonna go through the last hour of our thing before we close up for the night.
Okay.
Cool bean.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop the recording. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
All right. See you guys in 10.